Recording in progress.
Greetings. She's so formal.
I know she's very, very formal. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Saga of Steve Rogers. My name's Tom, and I'm glad to have you here. If you're here for the first time, where have you been? And if you've been here before, I'm glad to have you back. Today is my first video version of the Saga of Steve Rogers. I'm coming up on 300 episodes of the audio podcast. And about 6 months ago, I decided to try something different. So I bought a whole bunch of cameras, and this is not a camera. This is just a Zoom meeting. But I'm so excited to take my podcast to a different place. I don't know if that's really the place for me. I kind of have a face for audio. But we'll see how this works out. But I'm so excited about my first guest. The way I was introduced to her is my wife, the amazing Amy, was laying next to me in bed, watching videos online as she's off to do while I'm reading books. And she played a video and laughed her ass off so loud that I could hardly hear what was being said. So I was like, well, let's roll that back. And I want to see what you're looking at and then hear what you're listening to. And she showed me, and I was enthralled. I couldn't believe how funny this person was. And so I subscribed immediately. And then I took a chance and sent an email, and I figured it would go to her assistant or her people. And I got a reply within like a minute and a half. So I asked her if she would come on my podcast. She's like, sure. And I was like, wait, who are you? You can't be her. You're too busy being the hot mess that is Pinky Patel. I saw a hot mess listed somewhere. Yeah. I don't know how that started, but today's guest is Pinky Patel. If you don't know who she is, first off, you're not on social media. She's everywhere. Do you have a primary place where you post and then it goes other places first off, or?
My two biggest right now is TikTok and Instagram. So I try to balance between the two. I use Instagram, like you'll notice like when I'm traveling, I'll use Instagram more because it kind of keeps everybody up to date. Like I feel like a lot of people are following me on this journey. And so when I'm away, yes, absolutely. When I'm away, like when I'm not in my glam cave, that's the PC term. Everybody knows what I usually call it, but when I'm not down here, I use Instagram just as a way for people to kind of stay connected and just like, hey, what's going on? Where am I going? What am I doing? So between TikTok and Instagram, but I'm slowly making my way into the YouTube world. I know, as I have more time, and I've been saying this for a while, I want to start kind of doing a weekly vlog just to let people know, again, like people who are really invested, my like super friends, like the ones that like they're like, I want to know have tickets open and I want to be the first one. It's like, let's face it, I don't have the time or the bandwidth to like private message everybody like, oh, sure. Tickets, I remember you're from Cincinnati, like Cleveland, tickets are out. Like I can't do that. I don't have the bandwidth for that. So that's like kind of the next thing is getting into YouTube more. Like I have a channel, I have vlogs that I did last summer, but because of TikTok taking over, and then I still have my 9 to 5 and the kids going back to school, roommates going back to school, all that stuff. I have to kind of, one thing has to be less than the other, but I feel like a lot of people, and like I'm on Facebook too, because I know I have a lot of my following is kind of, there's older people that follow me as well, and they're more comfortable in Facebook. So I don't know if it's a fault or like a strength of mine, but I'm always trying to be accommodating. I'm like, okay, well, I know half my people are only on Facebook, so I got to be better about it, posting there. So
pretty soon you'll be doing a Twitch with a game controller in your hand or something. So you can relate to the children. And
I can't, like, I am the worst at watching movies. Like, so I started doing movie reviews on Instagram TV. I was like, okay, let me just spit out 3 minutes of show reviews or movie reviews, and I have a series on Instagram TV like that, where because I have running commentary whenever we watch something. My forever PP hates it. He's like, "You not talk to movies?" I'm like, "We're at home. I'm talking." The only time I won't talk in a movie is when I'm at the theater because I paid too much money for that, and people know that. And so he now knows, okay, when we watch a movie, he's got to turn subtitles on because I'm always in his other ear talking. And I don't take offense to that. I know some women or some partners are like, why would you do that? It's rude. It's like, no, it's not, because then I can talk and read at the same time and I'm not lost. So it's a win-win for me.
It's a win-win for you. And that's really what counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So first off, before we get too deep into this, plug everything. Tell people where they can find your website, your Instagram, all your handles. Then we'll go into some stuff, and then I'll do it again at the end, put some links in the show notes, stuff like that. But tell people where they can find you.
Yeah, so my main across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter is Pinky Patel Official. On Twitter, it's Pinky Patel OG, but you type in Pinky Patel, and I think I just start coming up, so that's good. And then on Facebook, I am still Hot Mess Express Pinky Style. I've been trying to change it since August, and Facebook is just like, no ma'am, you can't change it. I'm like, I don't understand, just change it. But we also are working on a website. It's going to be pinky-patel.com, but we launched it yet. We're probably going to launch it the first of the year, and that will have kind of everything that you want to know about me, high level, including like, there'll be a page for ticket sales. So all the shows that I'm going to do, they're just going to constantly be there, and I can just people to my website. Like right now, when I do a post, I have to go to a Google Doc, copy the link, put it in the like it bothers me in that 5 minutes it takes to post. There will be a spelling error, which everybody's clearly aware of because I always edit afterwards. I will say a wrong state, like West Palm, California. I was like, I'm sorry, it's Florida. But I feel like it's on because look at this. It's part of me, and I'm not gonna like be like, oh, I'm the perfect person on screen. I'm not.
So Pinky Patel Official everywhere.
Yeah. Pinky Patel Official. Yeah.
Awesome. So you mentioned tickets. I've noticed merch, like you're expanding the brand. So actually, let's start even further back than that. How many siblings do you have? One? Older or younger?
Yes. Younger brother.
Younger brother. How much younger?
4 years.
Okay. So there's kind of a gap. So you guys were probably in different schools. Like he was in middle school when you were in elementary, then he was in high school when you were.
Well, I ended up staying back a year in elementary school because we moved here to America when I was 3. And so if you ever hear me say English is a second language in my content, it literally is. And people think I say it to be silly and to be funny because I speak pretty well.
You do.
You really can't tell that I am from a different country if you don't see my face. And so
but the face doesn't indicate you were born in another country. Like there's a lot of people that look like you that were born here. Your roommates look like you and they were born here. So
exactly. But yeah, so when he was a freshman in high school, I was a senior. And so that was not good times. I hated it because every time we passed each other in the hallways, because he's taller than me, he would like point me like, look, it's my little sister. And I would just roll my eyes and just like, leave me alone. Like, why am I even near the freshman right now? I have no idea. So yeah, but pretty much not the same school.
Not in the same school. That's good, I guess. And did you grow up in Chicago? I know you live in Chicago area now. Did you grow up there?
No, I grew up in Connecticut. Yeah.
Okay.
So like 45 minutes outside of Manhattan.
Nice. I spent a year in Manhattan. It was probably the best year of my life. I can't say that, my wife might hear this. It was the best year of my life other than the year I met her and then the 6 after that we've been together or something. I don't know. But Manhattan was pretty amazing times. I lived on Wall Street. My address was 95 Wall Street. I was in.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't paying for it. I couldn't possibly afford that nonsense, but it was just sick. Did you spend a lot of time in Manhattan living in the area?
I ended up, for college, I had started at University of Connecticut, and then they didn't have the major I wanted. And so then I transferred to New York School of Interior Design, and it was on the Upper East Side in Manhattan. So nice. I was going there constantly once I moved back home. I think that was like second semester of sophomore year. I realized that I was like, I'm wasting time at UConn. Peace out. And I left. I was like, I'm not going to waste time and my parents' money if you don't have my major and trying to do an independent major. It was really, really ridiculous. And so I moved home, and then New York School of Interior Design, Upper East Side. So I was.
No, go ahead. No, please.
No, I was just saying between like driving down to the city and having to take I tried so many all the different ways to get to the city until I realized, no, I have to drive because I have a big portfolio, I have projects. I used to take them on the train my first year and it was not fun. And so whenever I do go back, when I was back in November, it definitely was like coming back home, like when I was driving down the same roads that I used to take going to college and stuff. And it's like riding a bike. It just all came back. I didn't even need my GPS. I was so paranoid. I was like, no, I need my GPS just in case. I don't want to be late. I have a time frame. I have to be in the city for this. So I had it on and I barely even looked at it. It was just second nature once I got on the road. And I was like, oh, I miss this. And it's like, what am I talking? I've been in Chicago 17 years. Like what? Like I have the same here. Like I don't need GPS. But it's like the whole going back home thing, the nostalgia, and you definitely miss it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Were you a good student in school? I mean, you went to college, but I'm in Arizona, so anybody here can get into ASU as long as you know how to open a bottle and then drink the whole thing. They let you in. That's part of the interview here. So, were you a good student?
I was. I mean, that was definitely one of the expectations put on me early on. My parents were like, well, we moved here so you have good education. It's like, okay, well, I have nothing else to do. So if I don't get A's, I'm kind of like failing my job right now. And I don't know what the future might hold.
Right.
And so it's not a lot to ask, right? To get good grades. Like as a kid, I didn't have to, if I didn't want a job when I turned 16, I didn't have to get one. I got one because I wanted to get one. I wanted extra money, so I didn't have to ask my parents, and I could go see movies, I could go out to eat with friends and all that stuff. And so, but again, the condition was you could do whatever you want, track and field, cross country, like job, anything. But as soon as your grades start failing, you're not doing any of that stuff.
Yeah,
and
all
so
that stuff goes away. The focus is school.
Right.
School is the job until you have a job that's not school.
Right. And so, I mean, I wasn't top of the class, but I wasn't failing either. Like I did pretty well. I got my A's, I got my high B's and A's, and I kept the parents happy, and I got to do whatever I wanted to do afterwards.
Nice.
Not so much my brother. He didn't get that message.
I was just going to ask, so how did the brother do? Because there's always one. If you guys only have two, like I have 9 kids, there's always one. Jeez. That's like the
9 kids.
Yeah.
What? I can't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I had none. I married my wife and she had 7. She adopted 4 from foster care and then had 3 of her own. So I went from 0 kid. I was 48, late 40s, and I had 0 kids. And I met her, fell in love with her, and then I found out the number was true. It was 7, and then we adopted 2 more last year, so 9 total.
You guys are wonderful people.
No, everybody says that. No, we're horrible people. We're just screwing up as many people as we can. You only get 2 to screw up. I got 9. So
yeah, well, I mean, that is true. I'm lucky I only have 2 to mess up. And they're boys. I don't have girls. I'm like, and I say it in my set, I'm like, in today with social media, if I had a daughter, I don't know what I would do. I'd be like, can you return her? Is there any way I can return? Just, I don't know. Send her back.
Take this one back. This one wasn't mine. Somehow you gave me the wrong package from Amazon, and it was not supposed to be. I have mostly girls, and it's horrible. I have 2 that are 14, so they're together. Yeah. Like, and the other thing is, this maybe grows for some people, and you have boys, so you may not notice, but when you have a bunch of girls and they all hit puberty, they all have that syncing thing where they join their and it's horrible. They sync up. First off, you can curse, by the way. I meant to say that. So I'm going to say fuck real quick. So it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, good. That. I didn't know. I usually ask that in like messages back and forth, but I've been just going a mile a minute since October. And so I just forgot to ask that. It's been a
fun ride to watch for us outside, by the way. But
I hope so.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So your brother was not the great student. So did your parents crack down on him? Like his free time was not free time?
Yeah, but he didn't care. He was like, I'll do what I want. And it's just like, that's his personality. He does what he wants. It's like, we're just too, obviously you're going to have one, like you said, you're going to have always one kid that does what they want and doesn't matter, consequences, whatever. And it's fine. He lived his life. I lived my life. And
there you go.
Now we're adults and we're okay. That's all.
Cool. Were you a funny child? Like, were you the funny one in the family? Because you're
Um,
absolutely fucking hilarious. So let me just put
thank
that
you.
out there. You're the first time I watched it, I was like, that's hilarious. How's she gonna carry this on? Like, and you do it so well. Like it seems so flawlessly easy. And I don't know if it is. Like, I don't know if when you're doing a video where you're reacting to somebody else's video, it seems like it's one and done. Like, I don't know if you do 75 takes or if you just do one and then drop the mic and walk away. But
Yeah.
it seems so easy for you. It just, yeah. Were you
Thank
funny as a
you.
kid?
I was funny with my friends because again, I had to like be in front of my parents, had to be that respectful, not outspoken, right?
Yeah.
Kids are seen, not heard, that type of situation.
Is that the way your parents were? They really wanted you to just be the student and then kind of be calm and quiet at home?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what Indian girls are supposed to be,
That was
calm
the
and quiet and
expectation.
domesticated.
Yeah.
That was the expectation. Yeah, no.
Domesticated.
And I was just like,
that.
I have to go to school. I have finals to study for. Like that was that was how I got out of house chores. As soon as I said I have finals or a test, my mom was like, okay, go.
Go upstairs. Yeah.
Go. Yeah. And when she saw my bedroom door was closed, she didn't come in and ask me to help make dinner or do dishes or anything. She was just like, okay, go study. Like she never bothered me. So I definitely learned quickly that I can use that to my advantage if I just wanted to chill in my room.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Yeah.
So did you see the movie The Breakfast Club?
Absolutely.
Of the kids in The Breakfast Club, which one were you? Like in school or at home, you were obviously none of them. There was nobody that was very studious and proper and whatever. But in your friend group at school, which one of those do you think you were closest to?
Is it Anthony Michael Hall, the kind of geeky?
Yeah.
He was the nerd that tried to just make everybody get along. So like, that's who I was with my friends. Like my personality comes out when I have a really good gut feeling about people. So, and I got this from my mom, and she's the same way. Like she can meet somebody, have a conversation with them, and know immediately if they're good for you or not, if you should continue being friends with them or not. And she has helped me a lot with that kind of gut feeling. And so I feel like I've picked it up from her. And so my true personality, like what you guys see, like my smart mouth that you guys are used to hearing, those words are me. Yeah, I say them in that accent because that's the accent. That's how my mom speaks English. And I use her to like calm myself down a lot when I get mad, because when you speak in that accent, and it's because it's my mom, it calms me down, right? I never claim that all Indian people talk like this because they don't, and I'm never gonna say that.
Right.
And like not all Indian women, like not all Indian people say F's instead of P's and P's. That's my mom. That's 100% my mom. And so when I'm with my friends and I have determined, yes, I can trust you with my true self, that is when my personality comes out. And that's when I'll start being funny and just cracking jokes, because I'm all about dark humor. I'm all like, I don't shy away from dark humor. Like that's my bread and butter when I'm stressed out. Like I get really sarcastic and really like snarky, and it all comes out. And my forever has he's actually taught me that's not really healthy. You might want to tone that down when you're with different groups of people. And that's good, because I didn't know that, right? Growing up with my friends, I made them laugh.
Right.
And they were encouraging it. And so I just kept doing it, right? Throughout high school, throughout college. Yep. And then I met him and he's like, no, that's not, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, I got to base it on my audience. I never had different audiences back then, right? My biggest audiences were my like parents and that culture, right? That was that was one side that I had to be in front of. And then the rest was my friends. And that was just two different people I had to be. But now it's like, okay, well, you have kids, you're a parent who has to go to teacher meetings, PTA meetings. Yep. Like you have to put different parts of yourself in front of different groups of people. They're all you, but like you just have to make sure you're being cautious of, okay, well, I'm in front of the PTA, I'm talking to other parents. They don't know me, and I can't assume they know me. I mean, they might now, but like I was gonna say back then, and I can't be snarky. I can't do dark humor. I can't do that. And so again, depending on what audience here I'm in front of, I do have a different, not so much like, oh my God, she's completely different around these people.
Right.
No, I'm more reserved because I don't know you and I'm not going to feel free to say what I want to say. And like with the stitches, like you said, they are one and done. I don't like my videos are all one and done.
That's awesome.
If the like I know I've only redone 2 videos, and that was because when I listened to them again, I was like, it doesn't make me laugh as much, so let's redo it. So that's when I redid it because I didn't think the response was what I wanted, like, you know, what I wanted to get out.
You had already posted it, so it had been seen, but then you redid it? Or was it
No.
something you looked at and showed a couple people and they were like,
No, it was, I did it. Like I did my reaction video, I reviewed it, I didn't like it, so I redid it.
Oh, okay. So it was like immediate.
Oh, okay. Immediate. If something doesn't make me laugh, I don't post it. Because if I don't laugh at my own joke, who's gonna laugh at it? Just like if I don't wear my own merch, who's gonna wear my merch? Like if I'm not proud of my own work.
Wait, wrong sleeve. I'm wearing a shirt, Saga of Steve Rogers, just because it was black and it just happened to be the one I picked. But yeah, nobody's gonna buy my shit if I don't wear my own shit. Like you gotta wrap your product, your brand. Yeah, you gotta
support yourself, you know. Like that's why I'll be the first one to like my own video, because I'm like, that's a free like. If I don't like my own video, I'm missing out on a free like.
That's a good point.
I gotta boost my content somehow, and I'll be the first one to start it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. Like I belong to a bunch of podcast groups, and people are always like, how long do you spend editing? How much time do you spend doing this? I'm like 0. I put for my regular audio podcast, I put music at the beginning, a little intro from one of my children, and then the show, and then music at the end, and I put it out. It's done. It takes me like, 20 minutes to really do the stuff once the show's over. I don't need to spend, I'm not doing this to be Joe Rogan. I'm not going to make billions of dollars. Like I'm just having fun. This is so I don't pay for a therapist. Like I do this so the 9 kids and the wife and the 9 cats and 5 dogs and a hamster don't drive me insane.
That's a lot of roommates, Tom. That's way too many roommates.
It is.
Too many roommates.
It is. But I mean, they all have their own. It's like you said, like your role was Anthony Michael Hall, but I have all those people plus duplicates, and I have got a principal and the custodian. Like I have all those personalities in this house at one time. It's rough sometimes, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I always said, after I got married and had kids, stepkids, this was the job I was supposed to have. I think. Like I'm not great at it. I don't know if I'm even good at it. I think I'm okay, but it's the job I was always supposed to have. So, yeah.
Nice.
I was kind of the same way in school too. Like I was funny with my people, but I was quiet with everybody who I didn't know. So people were like, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's always quiet. And then people are like, no, he's the funniest dude you'll ever meet. Like go talk to him. And if you talk to me, then I talk to you, but I'm never going to go up and initiate a conversation with somebody at random. Like when I was single, I couldn't do that. My friends like, go to a bar, stop dating online because you meet nothing but psychos online. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but I'm meeting them. So, cause like, I can't go to a bar and just walk up like, hey, how's it going? I'm Tom. That's never going to work for me. I'm going to look ridiculous. I couldn't do, weird. So how did you get started? Like, how did you get started doing? Well, first off, do you consider yourself, because you're on all the medium, a YouTuber, an influencer, an Instagram influencer, a TikToker? Do you know title? You're just Pinky.
Just content creator.
Content creator. Okay.
Content creator / comedian. Comedian / content creator. The whole thing with putting a label on yourself is when you do that, you pigeonhole yourself, right? Like when you're like, oh, you're a TikToker. Well, I'm not. I don't think I just do TikTok now that I'm on Instagram, I'm in YouTube, I'm in Facebook. Like once your material surpasses one social media platform, people need to stop saying, oh, you're TikTok famous. It's like, I think I'm real life famous now, but we'll talk about that later. Like,
your mama is TikTok famous.
Yeah, but it's easy to say TikTok famous, right? Because I haven't been on Jimmy Fallon, I haven't been on talk shows, and so it's like, well, you're not really famous. It's like, well, are you traveling from city to city doing shows? No. So how about we not split hairs here on who's famous and who's not. Like, get out of my face.
How many random people are sending you crowns, bitch? None. Exactly.
Yeah,
so
exactly. But yeah, and also like there is a little bit of stigma with the term influencer in that, you know, when you think of an influencer, think about these past 5-10 years, right?
Yeah.
With social media and people venturing outside of Facebook and into YouTube and into Twitter and into Instagram. That term is always associated with people who project a perfect lifestyle, who project something that you want to, like, as a consumer, something you're like, oh my God, I wish I was there. Oh my God, I wish my house looked like that. Oh my God, I wish. And I guess with me, like, for every clean room that somebody posts a picture of, there's 5 other rooms that look like shit.
Yep.
And I would rather show you the rooms that look like shit because that's my everyday life. And my whole thing is, and you know, you've listened to a lot of my stuff now, regardless, accent, no accent, but the actual words, it's people have told me, so this is not me like tooting my own horn or anything, but people have told me,
yourself
they're
on
like,
the back there.
right, they're just like, your stuff is relatable. It's what we think,
It is.
but we're just too scared to say it. And you say it in a way that makes it fun and lighthearted, and it's not serious. And you call out people who need to be called out, and others you don't call them out because they're just asking a question. And if you listen to what I say, I hardly ever make fun of somebody's appearance, even if they deserve it, or like, I tell them you shouldn't make fun of somebody because you're not perfect.
Right.
Or I tell them, hey, you have no, mind your own business. If you don't like it, walk away. Or if I'm doing my pinky splaining because they're asking a stupid question. Because it's not like it was 20 years ago where you had to put your question and ask Jeeves and hopefully get a good answer.
Yeah.
Right? You can Google the shit out of anything now. And the audacity of all of these like douche canoes and twat waffles who are putting these questions out there. I'm like, A, you don't have a female in your family to talk to that you feel comfortable with, which is sad. B, just look up the question on the internet. Like, if you really wanted to know, you would look it up on the internet and you would educate yourself. You don't really want to know. You just want to make content. You just want to piss off women, and you just want to be misogynistic, and you just want to be like I said, a twat waffle asshole making fun of somebody who's 2 times larger than you. It's like, shut the fuck up, sit down. You got ratchet teeth and glasses, sit down. Like, unless you're in. The only reason I say stuff like that is it's to prove a point. You're not perfect. Don't make fun of other people if you're not perfect. Even the Kardashians can't make fun of people because they weren't born perfect. You're not born perfect. Right. And that's the message I just want to put out there to everybody with both like my content on social media, on the interwebs, and in my shows. It's just like, I use so much of this as an example with my roommate number 2. Like, I literally would go up to him. I'm like, don't do this. This is stupid. Don't do it. Like, I would show him my phone in a video on TikTok. I'm like, don't do this. This is ridiculous. Like, what? Why do people your age do this? He's like, I don't know, Mom. I don't know. And he walks away because he's not into that stuff, which is good. And I'm proud of him for that. But I'm just like, please, if you see somebody doing stupid shit like this, like demolishing the bathroom at school for TikTok, I would hope that you would say something to an authority figure, because that is bullshit. They are ruining property because they want to get views, and that is that's the wrong message to send to our kids. And I just want to make sure our kids know that, I want to make sure that this asshole who's in a car, you have to have a hot body to have hot girl summer. It's like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. No.
That's so funny that you brought that up. That's the video I showed my oldest daughter yesterday. So I was telling everybody how excited I am. It's finally happening. We're doing this interview. And my oldest daughter's like, I said Pinky Patel, and she's like, I don't know what that is. I was like, well, it's not a what, it's a who, so fuck you. And then I just searched for Pinky Patel, and it came up, Pinky Patel, hot girl summer. And I was like, here. And she laughed so hard. She's like, I know who she is. I've seen a million of her videos, but she just didn't recognize the name. And I was like, well, now you know the name. And this is hot girl summer. That guy was an absolute idiot. But yesterday was pepperoni pizza. It's pepperoni vegan. That was hilarious. Like,
it's pepperoni vegetarian. It's like, why? And it's like, you can find so many, like, all I type on Google is stupid question to ask on the internet. And I get so many questions that people just are like balls to the walls asking on the internet because they don't think there's like no consequences to your actions. And I'm like, if you recognize yourself as being the David that asked this question on whatever platform you asked it on the interwebs, you got hammered, guy. Like, come on now. So stupid questions require stupid answers, in my opinion. But I don't, again, if it's a question, I don't really go into what kind of person it probably is. If it's a physical person, like Hot Girl Summer, it's like, all right, get out of your mom's car. Let's figure out what we need to do. Right. What's happening right now? You know, like, you don't, what if, I try not to get too much into people's appearances, because I know that's a sensitive subject right now. Like, it doesn't matter if you're being an asshole, you're being a twat waffle, you still don't deserve to get made fun of, like, your appearance, because that's not.
Let's just make fun of the fact that you're an asshole, like that you think this needs to be said, that you think you're the person that should say it. Like,
right.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's don't take the easy shot, take the smart shot. Don't go, look at his hairline, look at his stupid eyebrows. Like, no, that's easy shit. Let's like punch up. Let's make fun of his intelligence.
The one I posted about the guy who's jumped in and does that. I was like, I made fun of the fact that he jumps into his videos. It's like, what are you doing? You look really awkward jumping in, and then you run away. You say these statements and you run away. And these statements, you probably don't do any of these. That's why you keep losing the girls. Like, I didn't say anything about his hair. I didn't say anything about his physique. But when you go into my comments and women are like, let's talk about that middle part. Let's talk. I'm like, I didn't say that. That's you guys. I did not say that. Please listen to the words that came out of my word hole. 100%. Watch the whole video. Like, when I did that fried clam video, I was like, you know, there's surgery for that if you want. If it makes you uncomfortable, I'm just letting people know. Some woman DM'd me because she wasn't brave enough to put the comment in the post. Right. She DM'd me. She's like, that's great humor, telling women to get their labia surgically fixed, unnecessary surgery. Great job. Like, I knew she was pissed off, but I didn't respond to her. I was just like, I didn't tell people to do that. I said, if this makes you uncomfortable, this is what it looks like, first of all, the fried clam. And if it makes you uncomfortable, there's ways to fix it if you want to. That's me telling you there's ways to fix it. Maybe people didn't know that. Right. I didn't know that until I looked it up, you know, like, because we don't, like, as a society, we don't talk about things we should talk about, because it's too taboo. It's too, oh my God, that's like, why are you not comfortable talking about sex with your girlfriends? They're supposed to be your girlfriends. They're supposed to be your best friends. Yep. How come you don't trust them to ask these questions of, is what I'm feeling normal? No, because people, like, as a society, we've said we can't talk about that. Well, then we're going to have problems. No one's going to know if you're uncomfortable with that part of your body looking like that. You can't get it fixed. Just like, to me, it's no different than if you have small breasts and you don't like them, you can get surgery. Yeah. And me telling you there's surgery is not me telling you go get surgery. It's just telling you, hey, there's surgery out there if you want it.
Yeah, you're not giving them a coupon or telling them, you should go see this guy. He does the best. Like,
right. It's like, I'm just telling you there's ways to fix it so that you're more comfortable in your own body. Like,
but you were saying it in a humorous way too. Like, for somebody to take it from a humorous video to, you know, you're giving bad advice and you're making girls feel bad about. No, nobody's doing that. Yeah. It's funny. It's a funny thing to say. Like, years ago, you lived in Connecticut and you said you were in and out of New York. I used to listen to Howard Stern religiously. And there was, he used to be a lot different person than he is now. But back in the day when he used to have nothing but porn stars and strippers and whatever, there was a girl that came on there that bleached her butthole. And I was like, what? Like, that sounds horrifying. And she's like, but I'm so much happier with it. Okay, then more power to you. But
exactly. I don't have to prove it if it makes you feel better about yourself. I can have an opinion on it. I'm not going to say it to your face.
Yeah, I mean, I cringe at the thought of bleach and butthole. I mean, I'm sure it's not the bleach we put on laundry, but still just the two terms together. That's like, ugh. But
I might ask you how it felt. Yeah. Because I'm like, now I have follow-up questions.
Yeah, the follow-up question is, how did you sit for a couple of days? Were you on one of those donuts that they sell at CVS, like an air donut? Did it burn?
And like, how did you get to that decision that that's what you wanted to do? Like,
did someone tell you that you were? Works. Yeah, did somebody tell you the cue with the camera light and the tint didn't work? And you
right. Like, if I saw a video on TikTok or somebody sent me a video or tagged me about somebody bleaching their booty hole, that's exactly like my portion of it would be asking all of these questions that I know everybody wants to ask, but they're too scared to ask.
100%.
So, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. So how did you get started doing Well, where did your first videos come out? Which was your first medium that you used?
So before December of 2019, I was only in Facebook, and it was very minimal. I would just share pictures of my roommates so that my brother could show my mom in Connecticut. So it was just a way to quickly show her how her grandkids are growing up, right?
Okay.
So real time. Since she couldn't be here real time. And then
Where's your mom? Where's your mom currently? That she's not around.
Connecticut. She's still in Connecticut.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then December of 2019, I started doing random thought of the day on Facebook. I would just start posting every day a stupid thought I had in my head, and then I just got it out, right? Like you said, your podcasts are kind of therapeutic. You don't have to pay for therapy. So it kind of turned into that, where I could just say stupid shit or like whatever. And then then the pandemic happened. So that was March 2020, right? And you know, I have a really, like, one of my best friends, we started off as coworkers and then progressed to really good friends, best friends. And I was like, oh, I'm getting real frustrated. I haven't been near my roommates for this long and ever. I don't know. Usually, like, you know, your work day, your 8-9 hour day, we're doing our own things between work and school. We don't see each other. Then we come home for dinner, a couple hours, and we go to bed. Again, you don't see each other. You're in bed. That doesn't count.
Right.
And then morning breakfast was like 20-minute blitz, everybody rushing around doing so. And so having this hectic life, not seeing each other for 24 hours a day, and then now seeing each other 24 hours a day, knowing where everybody is in the house, because I can hear the Zoom teaching sessions here, the Zoom teaching sessions here, and you know, husband working over there, and I'm like, we were all on the top floor of our house, all four of us trying to do school and work, and I was just like, I'm going crazy. I'm going to murder somebody. And it's not because I hate my family. It's just because you go from having minimal interaction with your family to having 24/7. And the first 2 weeks, it was great, right? Just like any vacation, just like any time off. The first couple of weeks is great because you're like, this is so nice. We're not rushing from work to school to PTA to after school activity to this to that.
I feel like I know so much more about my kids and my husband. We get to share more. And then you're like, I don't really like everything they're sharing. So.
And then by the fourth week, I was like, ugh. So my friend Melissa was like, just turn your phone on and vent to the phone. Use it as whatever. And I was like, then I can put it on, I can make vlogs. And so that turned into vlogs. And in same March, just like everybody else, I downloaded TikTok because I was like, okay, well, what else is there now? I need to be entertained. What else is there?
Right.
But I immediately uninstalled it the next day because I was like, no, I can't do this. I can't dance. I can't sing. We know this, but I still try. Okay. I can't lip sync because when I try, it doesn't match and it drives me crazy. So I don't even, I'm like, no, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, don't do your weaknesses. That's my philosophy on life. And so I uninstalled it, completely took it off my phone. Okay. And then my friend started sending me videos, TikTok, sharing TikToks, right? Like before it was sharing memes, now it's sharing TikToks. And I was like, wait a minute, these are funny. What is happening? And so again,
you're like, wait, there's another lane of TikTok that's not dancing and singing. Yeah.
Right. And I didn't know this because I wasn't in it. Right. And that was in March. And so then my friends throughout the spring and summer were sending me stuff. And then by August, September, I was like, huh, maybe. And so I asked my friend Melissa, I was like, how do you think I would do in TikTok? She's like, I think it'd be hilarious. People will love it. Sure. Are you saying that because you're my friend? Because your friends tell you you're funny, but are you really funny? Yeah. And so she's like, no, Pinky, I feel you underestimate how hilarious you are, even when you're not drunk. I was like, okay, cool. So I took my latest vlog was me complaining about grapes. And I took that, produce in general. I took it and I posted it, and that was my first TikTok, was me bitching about grapes. Because look, they have two life choices, all right? They can either be wine grapes or they can be eating grapes. And if you decide to be an eating grape, that means that you have to 100% commit to the fact that you have to let go of the branches. And the fact that the grapes stay on the little branches, and I know my fingers are too big. So then I have to get my roommate. I'm like, this is for you, roommate number 3. Get your ass up here with a stool. You have little fingers with no nails. Yeah. Pull the little twigs up. Like, this is 45 minutes, Tom, that I can be sleeping. All right. My whole objective in life is how much can I sleep? Like I'm the person that calculates, okay, it's midnight. I have to get up at 7. That means 7 hours of sleep if I go to sleep right now.
Oh my
And
God.
then I try.
I do the same thing every night. I'm doing the backwards math. I'm like the lady at Dunkin' Donuts going, okay, you want a dozen donuts? All right, we'll take 3 glazed. Okay, that's 9. Like you have to backwards manage what time I'm going to bed and what time I have to wake up.
And that's the only time I'm really good at math is when I have to do
Same.
sleep calculation. Sleep calculation.
Same thing.
When people ask me outside of sleep calculations, I'm like, where's the calculator? I don't know. I have to do math for work. I'm not doing it outside of work. No.
Then I'll ask Suri to do the math for me. Hey, Suri, how many donuts do I have left?
Yeah. So that was in October. That was October, like the beginning. It was October 3rd or something, 3rd or 7th or something.
Now, were you doing them in the? So the first videos that you did on Facebook, were you doing them in the voice or were you doing them like you are talking now?
I was code switching, so it was a lot of back and forth.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So it started out switching.
Yeah, it's always been switching. Like when I tell stories about my mom or just stories in general, I'll switch back and forth a lot. And that's what like my friends are used to, right? And that's what I do. They're always like just childhood stories growing up and stuff. And so now I've just incorporated it into my content. That's what I do on stage. I go back and forth between the two. Because it makes me laugh. It's my mom. Like
it's hilarious. Yeah, the switching. Yeah. I didn't catch it for a while, and then I was like, "Wait a second." She just said F. There was a letter F. I heard it. I'm rewinding this shit. All right. So you've always done the switching between the two voices?
Always, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've always done it. Like whenever I talk about my mom, because that's where it came from. Like people would be like, "Oh, how's your mom?" And then I'd tell a story, and because I'm playing both characters, I would do both characters, and they were just like, "Oh my God, what is happening right now?" I'm like, "I don't know." So it is what it is. But yeah, I have a lot of different, like you'll see now. I do content in all different voices now, right? Like I'll use my own voice. I'll halfway through I'll sound like a Jersey girl, and halfway through I'll sound there's no like if you sat me down and you're like, do a Jersey girl, I'd be like, I can't do it like on I can't do it on demand, but I could do it as I'm talking, recording voice memos to my friends or just venting. I get really animated when I get mad. And so it's my way of like not punching somebody in the face. It's just, I get really like, when I'm talking, I get really hyper and animated and whatever. But yeah, that was in October last year. And now a year and a couple months later, it's an insane journey.
So when did you do your first comedy show, like on a comedy stage? Was that in November?
It was October 3rd. So it was kind of like a 1-year anniversary of TikTok.
Nice.
And it was here at the Chicago Improv at Schaumburg, the Woodfield Mall. So it was kind of nice because it was, like I said, it was a year, right? And so I was able to kind of, huzzah!
1-year anniversary, yeah.
Yeah. So I told them I wanted to come back next year and kind of do it at the same club every year as like an anniversary thing.
That's awesome.
Just because I got to ride it as much as I can, until either I disappear or they tell me I'm going to keep going. I don't know. I'll just take it one thing at a time. So.
Yeah. So how many live shows have you done now?
I just calculated that yesterday. So I did Chicago, I did Milwaukee, I did 2 in West Nyack, New York, I did Brooklyn, and then just this past weekend or last weekend, I did Nashville and Huntsville. So
I saw the Nashville pictures also. So I saw that you're coming to Arizona. I'm buying my tickets today, by the way. My wife and I are going to come see you. I can't wait.
Oh, thank you.
Super excited. But it says that the show is at 5 p.m. Is it an afternoon show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's happening is because, between the pandemic and quarantine and everything, comedians are coming out hard, right? And so their managers were trying to get them as many weekend dates as possible, primetime dates as possible. And I'm a gamble at this point, right? I'm still new. They want to make sure that I'm going to sell out. And so far, so good. 7 out of 7. I can't complain. And so, right now I'm just kind of taking whatever times they have available for me. And I think probably around April, June, that's when it'll start changing. You'll see me more towards like the evening times, but I don't care. I don't mind performing at 4, 3, 6, it doesn't matter. It's like, I feel like it then gives people a chance to like, listen, I just said I love sleep. All right. So if I have to be up until 11 doing shows, I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know. So I'll take what I can get. Somebody commented, they're like, did you pick these times because of geriatrics that follow you? And I was like, no, I didn't pick these times.
Damn, you should light that person up.
I did. I was like, no, it was an older person. It was an older person that follows me on Instagram. Like, did you pick this because older people follow you? I was like, no, sir, I did not. I picked it because that's what the times are available. I'm sorry. But I don't mind. Like, I told my manager, she asked me what my preferences were. And I told her, I was like, if we can get 7, that would be good. Because that's when people are used to, headliners going on and stuff, shows starting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to say no to performing at 3 o'clock. Or 4, like that's stupid of me. Like, oh, they only have a 3 o'clock time frame. Do you still want to do it? Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. Get me on stage. I mean, if the place is half full, that's asses in seats, man. That's people seeing you, other than on the video for 3 minutes. How long is your set?
It's an hour. It's an hour.
You have a full hour?
Yeah, sometimes depending on if there's people after me, they'll give me a little bit more time, and because so here's, not a lot of people will like, once you post this podcast, I'll help you promote it, whatever, right? But not a lot of people actually go and take the time to go listen to the podcast or listen to the interviews. And then they'll ask, I noticed, I go into my comments, they're like, oh my God, how did you get started? Oh my God, how come there's not a lot of content on you? You only go back a year. Oh my God, what's your most favorite video? Like, so I took a lot of questions that people asked me between my content and comments and between podcast interviews or whatever interviews. And I kind of formed my material based on that. Like, how did I get started? I definitely go more in depth and like I throw in stories. What's my first viral video? What's my favorite video? How come I have the reactions I have? And a lot of the reason why I have my reactions is just how I grew up, right?
Yeah.
And just things of, it's like, I had to fucking find out about stuff on my own, and these people can't find out. And I had to do that in the 80s.
Right.
Like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? Like, no, you need to be book smart and street smart. Like, no, you can't just be book smart. You can't just be street smart. You need to be both, and people need to learn that. So
you need to teach like your roommates. They need to be taught self-sufficiency because 18's coming quick. Like, I don't know if yours are out at 18. Mine are. So when 18 comes, you better be ready. Time's a ticking. So being book smart and street smart, you also need to be, aware of other people that are smarter than you. You got to be world smart. It's scary.
So it's a lot of that, and I do have slides. I don't want to give too much if you guys are coming. I don't
I'm coming no matter what. I can't wait.
But yeah, it's I have slides to help jog people's memories of longtime followers, because it's a mix, right? The audience is now a mix of longtime TikTok followers and new Instagram followers, and new across both, and then Facebook, obviously, longtime Facebook, new time Facebook, and so I try to give a little bit of, like, I'll pop up the slide and I'll give a little bit history, and then I go into why I got mad. And I think people, like, I've said it on stage, I'm like, this is amazing. I haven't paid for therapy in 2 years.
Exactly.
And they love it. Like, it makes them go crazy. And I'm like, I'm not hurting anybody. Like, because the people that I make fun of, they're out there trolling us, okay? Yeah. They have no grounds to fight back. What are they gonna do? Once you put it on the interwebs, it is done. It is done. Don't come at me. You can't even find me. I'm in my little cave.
Yeah. And you're not gonna circle back. You got more shit. Moving on. I'm done with you, and I'm moving on.
Like, I don't use their names. Like, I know what their names are, and I give them nicknames because that's what I do to kind of help associate, so I don't have to look at my notes when I'm on stage.
Right.
So I use like code names that I make up, and then I blurt out their faces so you can't see their faces, and so their names are not on screen either, the handle. So I've definitely taken precautions because I'm not stupid. I didn't get to this age being stupid. So I'm not 18 starting off doing this, so I feel like I have some experience backing me up. And then also, look at what everybody else has done and don't do that. Yeah. Like, everybody else has gotten called out. Don't do that. Like, what are you doing? Don't just say stupid shit on the internet. It's not.
Yeah, it's there forever. Even if That's why I was asking. You said the video that you redid. I thought you put it up and then took it down. I was like, well, somebody's got the one you put up.
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't. There is one time that I did post a video. I was drunk and it was at audio last year. I didn't say anything bad, but it was the audio of like the guy was like mumbling something, and it was to music, and people were like, some people would be like, after an hour at the gym, and then they would walk all drunk like, and I was like, I don't even need the audio. I'm here just all natural. Like in the bathroom, doing the quintessential bathroom recording that everybody did back then a year ago. It was just me making, like, being the troll asshole that I am, just making fun of stuff, right? And my husband was like, take it down right now. This is not what your followers expect. I'm like, my followers expect me to just be me. Like, I don't, like, if I did it now, I don't think he would care because I'm a little bit more established. In platforms. Yeah. He's very good for me. Like, I love the fact that he's the complete opposite of me, where like what you see on screen is what I am. Like, I'm smart mouth, asshole, whatever. I do say different words not because I'm being cautious of my viewers, but because it makes me laugh. Like, I love it.
Right.
Like, downstairs kitty cat forever, like, it's hilarious to me. I Ned Flanders the shit out of everything, and I'm okay with that. I think it's hilarious. Maybe we'll have like a Pinky Isms book or something on my merch site, just so people know what I'm talking about. But he's definitely the opposite of me. He's very quiet, very reserved. He keeps me humble, which is, it's good, right? Like, you need to stay humble because you don't know when this is going to go away. Like, and you can't be like, when I read stories online, or I hear people talking about online, YouTubers or whatever, acting a certain way, I'm like, you guys, you just jeopardized all of the brand deals that you had that are making you money because you wanted to do what you wanted to do, and you didn't know what the consequences of your actions were. You have a horrible team. Maybe you should fire them and get a new team to tell you not to do stupid shit, because guess what? Now so-and-so doesn't want to work with you, and that's how you were making your millions, you dummy.
Yeah. So stupid. So you mentioned your husband watching your content, but does the rest of your family watch? Do your roommates watch? Does your mom watch? How does your mom feel about herself being portrayed? Like,
the roommates know. I know my older son, he does follow me, but he doesn't like go in, and I think it's because I made him. I was like, you have to follow me, I need a follower count,
right?
But he doesn't. I don't show up on his FYP. I ask him periodically, but again, I'm not saying anything, like, I'm not saying anything wrong, I'm not saying anything vulgar,
Sure.
And so it's like, and he's in high school, he probably knows more about sex than I do, you know what I mean? Like, come on. My 9-year-old, no, we definitely filter, because as a parent, that's my job to filter what he watches. And so if I end up on one of like the YouTube accounts that he watches, because he watches this one chick that reviews TikTok videos, and I hate her, don't know her name, it's something Steppenwolf or whatever. She wears like the big black frame glasses, and she's just so annoying. I don't know. Like, I'm sure she's a great girl. I'm pretty sure outside she's probably amazing. We probably could be friends, but just on screen, I'm like, oh, she has no reactions. Why are you watching her? And he's watching the videos, not her. And so if I end up there, I'm pretty sure he'll be like, Mom, you're on her channel. But
you're on the best channel ever. Because you love,
I'm the only person my mom follows on TikTok. She just got a smartphone in June, and I was in charge of teaching her. Which again, you'll hear it in my set. I was in charge of teaching her, and it was no bueno. And so I got her as far as she needed to go, and I downloaded TikTok, and I made her a very, very generic name because I didn't want people to find is her. That the Usha? Yeah, is that the Usha? Because Usha is a very unique name. And so she follows me on TikTok, and she gets the notifications right on her. Bing! Oh, Pinky Patel posted a new. So then she'll look at it. She knows that I'm saying, like, I'm talking about the vagina. I'm talking like she knows that I'm talking about it.
That she's not.
And she's just like, so she'll go up. She went up to my brother. My brother was telling me, because he got a house with an in-law apartment, so she lives in the in-law apartment, and him and his wife live the rest of the house. Nice. She goes out to the garage and she's like, what does she talk about? She's saying bad things, right? Why is she saying all of this? Everybody gonna think she's dirty. And my brother's like, Mom, it's the internet. You could say whatever you want, and it's okay. And she's worried about, like, because obviously the aunties and uncles in the town that I grew up in, they saw me grow up, right? They came to my wedding. I am their daughter, even though I'm not. And it's like, no, I have one mom. I don't need a million aunties. Thank you. And so, but they will call her when they see a new video of mine, somebody posted on Facebook or whatever, cross post, right? And they will be like, oh, your daughter, this, and you're like, so they love it. So she's a little bit more comfortable with it now. She definitely was surprised. My brother was shocked, 100%. He was like, where did this come from? I'm like, we weren't friends growing up. Why would I ever be like this with you? We weren't. I'm not gonna lie about it. We weren't.
Sure.
Right? That's what happens with siblings.
Right.
And so him and his friends were completely caught off guard with all my content and the success of it. And then him and two of his friends came to my West Nyack show, and they were like, this was amazing. So I had two, right? The first one sold out and they added a second. And so they were like, oh, we can only come for the first one. We have work the next day. And I knew in the back of my head, I was like, you're going to stay for the second one. You're going to see the energy from the crowd.
Yeah.
You're going to hear my set. I'm not tooting my own horn, but you're probably going to stay. And I didn't say it, but I thought it. I kept it inside.
Yeah.
I didn't want to jinx myself. And what happened? He comes into the green room, which is like you had to go through the kitchen, and he loves Goodfellas. And so he was like, oh my God, this is like Goodfellas. We're going to the green room from the kitchen. Oh my God, we're going through the kitchen. This is amazing. He was like a little kid in a candy store. And I was just like, all right, your energy is too much. Get the fuck out of here. Like, go
you
back
can't
to
be
your
in
table.
this room right before I have to go out there and entertain a couple hundred people.
And so after I was done with my first show, him and his friends came back and they were just like, yo, that was amazing. And I was just like, yeah. He was like, we're gonna stay. And his friend Eddie was like, he looked at my face because he could tell I wanted to like nut punch my brother for saying that.
Right.
He made me drive by myself to West. I mean, I've been to this mall so many times, so I didn't care. But I was like, you just made me haul this my scaffolding, my backdrop, my suitcase. Like, I travel with shit now. Like, I don't just travel with a little purse anymore. And he was like, I'm sorry, but this was amazing. We're staying. I was like, whatever, I don't care. So and then the meet and greets after, right? So they were in the room when I was doing the meet and greet with all the VIP people, and they were just like, these people, like, people tell me their stories, which I love. Like, I love meeting everybody afterwards, whoever gets the VIP tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to spend at least a couple seconds with each person, because I know it's like I put myself in their shoes. Like, if I absolutely love Ed Sheeran, and if I ever got to meet him, I would be devastated if he just took a quick picture and wasn't even like, didn't hear me out when I said, oh my God, I love you. Like, if he just rushed me, you know?
Right.
And so there's definitely a fine line between like listening to everybody and still telling them, okay, well, you have to go.
You gotta go.
There's so many people.
Yeah. And I have another show after this one. So yeah.
Right. Especially because I had another show right after, and I didn't want to be obviously late for that one. But then the second show, after the second show and that meet and greet, I was like, okay, whatever, because it was just us. There was nobody, like, I didn't have to worry about somebody else's schedule and stuff. And so they were in there, and they were just like, this is amazing. Like, so many people love you. I'm like, well, I mean, yeah.
Duh.
But when I say stuff like that, I'm being sarcastic, because I still have this very like, it's not me showing confidence, it's me being sarcastic and showing confidence, because people are like, you gotta fake it till you make it, you gotta fake it till you believe it. And I'm like, I'm still at that stage, and I think I'll still be at that stage a year later when I've done 50 shows. Like, at each show I'm like, oh my God, this is my 7th show. Like, I give a count. I'm like, who does that? I'm like, whatever. And then I take a selfie with the crowd afterwards, because I'm still like, I don't know if this is my last show.
Yeah.
It's not, and I know it's not, because I have California in January, I have Phoenix in February, I have Cleveland, and like, I know it's not my last one, but like, just in case.
You never know. And you could be able to look back at that picture years from now and like, oh my God, look how small this club was when I'm playing auditoriums and I'm playing whatever,
Yeah, we'll see.
And so your mom likes your stuff. How about your husband? What do you call your husband? You don't call him a husband. You call him your forever
PP.
Okay. So does he like it?
He thinks like my content, or being called that?
Content and that.
Content, he watches it religiously. He does. He'll get a chuckle out of it, and that's kind of my gauge. I'm like, oh, I made you chuckle. Yes, I'm a winner. Like that's kind of, but he watches everything. He's like, you get a free like because I have to like it. The same thing. I'm like, yeah, that's right. He'll pop into my lives if I do lives on TikTok. I don't really do too many because I feel awkward just sitting in front of a camera talking. Like it's like, really, you want to listen to me talk? That's weird, but okay,
Yeah.
whatever. But he does. He definitely supports, definitely watches everything. He does like it. After my first show, he he was surprised. He's like, you didn't tell me that's what it was like. I was like, well, yeah, just because I didn't. And he had tried to get me to do a dry run in front of him for a while, up
Right.
until that, like as the date came. And I was like, no, you're not my target audience. My target audience is different. It's a different demographic. It's mainly women. I'm not gonna lie about it. From like
Sure.
probably like 25 to 7, like probably 70. I have a big wide range, mostly
Right.
women, mostly beige, not gonna lie. Like it is what it is, and I'm like, and now once I started getting on Instagram, I did notice I have a lot more Indian followers now too, like first generation raised here, and so they'll comment on stuff. I'm like, yes, Indian people, like it's great, you support your own person. I would hope so, but some Indian people are sensitive, so it's like, okay, whatever. I never said this is what you sound like. I've always said this is what my mom
Right.
sounds like. So at that point, it's like you definitely have been hurt by somebody, and you're just taking it out on me, right? But the whole forever PP thing, it is, because again, I like to say different things for different things, right?
Hmm.
So I think it's hilarious. He has a T-shirt that he wears when he comes to shows. It's like hashtag for EVPP and glitter magenta. It matches my shirt, and he wore it to the show on the 3rd, and people were like, "That's her husband. Look at his shirt," because he was the only one that had it. But now my merch shop has like a new crown design I made with
Hmm.
for EVPP, but he thinks it's funny. He's a good sport. He's a good sport.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
no one's gonna go up to him and be like, "Oh, forever PP." He'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here!" What?
Yeah.
No.
People are trying.
But
Have
he
people
knows.
taken pictures with him?
I don't know. I forgot to ask him if they tried to take pictures with him, because I mean, at comedy clubs, they're really strict with, like, once the show starts, you can't have your cell phones out.
Right.
Like they make
Right.
it known, and if they see it out, they will take it away. Like there's no shame in their game in that. And I'm like, I appreciate you for doing that, because I would hate for my material to be leaked on YouTube,
Right.
because that's my material for the next year. Like there's main parts of my material, but then the stories that I interject, they change. Like my friend who was with me this last weekend, I was like, so what did you think between the two shows? She was like, I like that it wasn't 100% the same, right? Because she had just seen the one in Nashville, and then she saw the
Hmm.
one in Huntsville, but you had the big parts were the same. And so, I'm sure you'll get better, but as a comedian, you can't, it's not a script. Like
Right.
the ones that kind of just go up there and just do it, it's going to be different from city to city to city, show
Sure.
to show to show. And so it's like, as long as the main parts are there, I'm happy. Like, of course, when I get off stage, I'm like, oh, I forgot to say this, but it is what it is. I didn't ruin it.
Right.
It's like, oh, it would have been funnier if I said this. Do they still laugh? Absolutely. Like, I'm not going for somebody to laugh for an hour. That would hurt your stomach. Like, that's not what
Sure.
I'm going for. But, it ebbs and flows. And yeah, he was definitely like, I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, well, yeah, because you don't join me at ladies' night, so you don't know I could do that. And you don't
You're like, I
know
just
I
know
don't.
you can't do it. So there.
Yeah. I'm just like, I have to filter a lot when I'm in front of you, because we have the other roommates. So I can't say exactly what I want to say. I
Exactly.
can't be as snarky as I want to be, because I have to be a good role model. The burdens.
Well,
So
this has been amazing. I'm so happy that we finally made this happen. I'm so happy to have you on. You're hilarious. I can't wait to see you when you come here in February. I will be bringing my forever vagina, my wife.
yeah.
Can't wait to see you. Again, plug everything. Tell everybody where they can see you before we
So
end.
so on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, Pinky Patel Official. And then on Facebook, you should be able to find me using Pinky Patel Official because it says both, like, or Hot Mess Express Pinky style.
Yeah. This has been so fun. I appreciate you doing this. I'm so
Thank you for having me.
A huge fan. I can't wait to have you back when I could say, here's the first time you came, and here's when you're selling out stadiums. You're amazing. I've had a great time.
Thank you, sir. It was fun. It was fun.
Awesome. I'm glad you had a good time. All right, everybody, go away. Fuck off. Susu Studio, live long and prosper, make better choices, get better results. Go find a forever PB or something. Bye.